All right, no more questions there. I'm excited about Coach Shane Winkler taking over our softball program. We had a lot of interest in the position, and that is a credit to the facilities that we have, our location, and then obviously playing in the American Athletic Conference. We feel strongly that Shane is a perfect fit for ECU. When we talked to people about Shane, the same things kept coming up. Passionate, high character, competitive. He understands how to build a program. He knows how to relate to the student athletes since he was in their shoes as a former student athlete himself. And as Shane and I discussed the position, I could really hear the excitement in his voice, the passion, and the understanding that, we could build a winner here. And the expectation is to have a winner. And it's funny how, small the world college athletics is. I was on the phone, with a bunch of coaches talking to different people. And I talked to a former coach that I'd worked with, asking them about people that I should talk to. And they're actually were really good friends with Jenny Finch, the former, everything softball player, played at Arizona, played in the Olympics. I mean, just one of the more decorated softball players. And Jenny Finch mentioned Shane, that she had played for Shane in Chicago and how great he was. And so as I started talking to a bunch of people and kept hearing his name, I knew that we were fishing in the right pond with Shane Winkler. So I'm very excited to announce Shane as our new softball coach. Shane, I'm going to turn it over to you for some opening remarks.
Thanks, John. I appreciate that. Appreciate the great words, but again, beyond excited for this opportunity. So just in front of you all, I want to thank John and Caroline and then JJ McClam again for first considering me, but then giving me this opportunity here at ECU, because everyone knows how special of a place this is. You just have to look at the excitement going on this week with baseball hosting, the track and field athletes going to nationals, of the potential of this athletic department. And we're going to build that with the softball program as well. We're going to do it the right way. We're going to start on focusing on the student athletes, building solid relationships there. Everyone talks about recruiting being the lifeline for your program, and it will be. But we've already started the recruiting with our current student athletes, really building relationship with them, building the culture of this program. But I told them I'm not the type that wants to talk about 2, 3, 4, 5-year plan. That's not fair to our seniors. We want to figure out how to be successful right away. So we've got some buzz going on with the players. Like John said, I'm passionate, but I'm also competitive. I want to be successful. I want to be successful right away. And I believe that's very, very doable here. Again, you just have to look across at what baseball is doing currently to see what the ceiling is for a program like ours. So we're going to get after, we're going to hit the ground running, but we're going to continue to build excitement for what we're doing. But again, completely blessed for the opportunity and excited to really get this thing built the right way.
Coach, what are your early thoughts on the American as a softball league? It seems to be a pretty strong league year in and year out. The Florida schools are always pretty good. Wichita, Tulsa, just your thoughts on kind of stepping into this league.
That's one of the things that excited me most. Obviously, as a coach, you're always looking at having the opportunity to coach at the highest level, and this is it. This is one of the top 5 or 6 conferences in the country. I think 2 years ago, they had 4 teams in the NCAA tournament. This year, they had 3, and all 3 were in regional finals. So you have a conference where you're going to have 2, 3, 4, 5 teams every year that have the ability to compete to be a super regional type team. And you're seeing a mid-major team that's in the College World Series right now. So that's the type of conference that we're competing in. But that's exciting to me. Hopefully that's the reason why players entertain the thought of coming to ECU. Obviously, Greenville's great. Being in the Carolinas is great. We have amazing facilities, but you're going to compete in one of the best softball conferences in the country. So again, that was just one of the major draws for me to come here.
During the process, interviewing that type of thing, I'm just curious, did you get to physically go see the facilities, or was it all done virtual, or how much did you know during that, or kind of learn about ECU and the program, that type of thing during the process?
I got to come down in person last week, but I've been familiar with ECU for a long time. I coached in Conference USA with Marshall as an assistant before they built the facility. And then being down at Charleston Southern, I've been in the Carolinas for 10 years. So we got to come here a couple times. So I'm very familiar with the department, with the program. And again, this is one that you always keep your eye on as a potential place that you'd love to land. For, again, 13 plus years now of being a head coach. This is one place you're like, wow, that would be a special place to coach. So I brought my team at George Washington down here last year. We were scheduled to come down next year. And that's just because, again, that we want to play when I was there at a place with a great facilities, with a great atmosphere, and somewhere that would be great to bring my former team down. So to have the opportunity to be here and again, in some of the best facilities on the East Coast are amazing. It's definitely the best facilities in North Carolina, and one of the best, if not the best, in the American. So we've got everything we need to be a winner right away.
And it seems like with softball, especially nationally, strategy can vary. Some teams want just that one pitcher, and hey, we're going to do that. Some teams get a bunch of home run hitters and that type of thing. What's your style, I guess, of what you want your program and kind of makeup of your team to be?
All of the above. It starts with pitching. We're going to need a couple arms that give us the chance to be competitive in every single game. Obviously, check out the top teams in the American. They have a dominant pitcher, so we're going to need dominating pitching. My teams have always done a really good job offensively. We hit a lot of home runs this past year and during my time at George Washington. So we'll always have a powerful team, but I want athletes. We need to have different ways to score. So if we're hitting the ball out of the park and giving ourselves a chance to steal a lot of bases and play an aggressive style of play, that's kind of my approach. We're going to be aggressive in every aspect of what we do. Our pitchers are going to be aggressive. Our hitters will be aggressive. We'll be aggressive defensively, but we're going to be the type of team that takes the game to our opponent. So we always want to have that mentality, that energetic, aggressive mentality.
Coach, just looking at your roster makeup with George Washington, you kind of recruited a little bit nationally along with the East Coast. Are you comfortable recruiting out west and finding players out there and kind of just going all over the country?
Yeah, I've been coast to coast my entire career. Like I said, I've done this 13 years, and I've had players from all over the country during those 13 years. So we're not going to leave any rock unturned to find the best talent we can. Obviously, we're going to start right here at home. Find the best talent we can in North Carolina. If I can lock down one of the best pitchers for sure in the state every year, we're going to try to do that just because we're going to obviously build in the circle first. But again, we want to keep the best players playing here. There's too many players that are going elsewhere in other conferences that we can build a championship program here within the state. But at the same time, if we're going to compete on a national level and we have the vision of this being a nationally competitive program, we're going to have to go coast to coast and everywhere in between to find the best talent we can to get us to that level. So like I said, we'll hit it all. I've got relationships from all over the country. I'm bringing talent in. The amount of phone calls and texts that I have received over the past 4 days on players and coaches that are interested in their players, sending their players here have been amazing. My phone's been ringing off the hook. So we're going to have all the opportunities and the resources possible to bring in some great talent.
Coach, how good is the softball in North Carolina on the high school ranks and travel ball, that kind of thing?
There's great players all over the state. It's one of those states that kind of one of those hidden gems on where you can find some talent. There's players within in a short drive that we can build a winner with. So there's some very solid travel ball programs that I've got really good relationships with, stemming from my time down in Charleston that I had an opportunity to recruit kids in North Carolina. So they're out there and we're going to start competing for them.